with that, probably, again, still giving them the chance to rejoin. We always want to bring them back to that rejoin link. And then here's where it really gets interesting. Not at this time. So if somebody says, no, I'm not interested in joining, I think one of the worst things you could probably do is say, okay, thanks, bye. Really, we have this opportunity to get insight from the contact. So why not ask them, okay, well, why is it not a good fit at this time? That allows you to uncover what their hesitation is, so you can then provide a solution. So for example, let's say somebody says, well, I'm retiring. That's a perfectly reasonable reason not to want to be a member, but maybe your organization has a membership for retired folks. Great time to say, well, here's all the benefits of staying engaged with the organization. Or maybe you don't have that and it's totally fine, and you can just say, well, congratulations. And then you know now not to reach out to that person again because they're retired. And you'll notice that each of these answer choices here go to a different page with a different solution. I don't have time to commit to membership. Well, what a perfect time to tell them how that membership works for them in the background. So any questions, thoughts on this, on what we're going to be building today? All right. Well, with that, I want to show you on the back end what it looks like, because it's one thing to see what the member is going to see, but it's another thing to see what you're going to see when you're building. So your account is going to be empty when you first log in. And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and log in. It's going to be app.propfuel.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to run the blueprint, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But first, I want to show you a blueprint that I've already run for this lapsed win-back campaign. So you're going to see here that it's going to give you a single check-in, so just one email in this campaign that asks, just like I showed you, are you interested in joining? And then there are 3 parts to every check-in. That's kind of the best way to think about it. There's the question and your answer choices. There's what are called your workflows, which I would think are, probably the most important part here is based on how they answer, what actions do we want to take? Do we want to show text on a landing page to them that gives them information about how they can join? Do we want to send an email, or do we want to do both, where we're saying, hey, you said you wanted to rejoin, here's that link again, just in case you still need it. So there's many different actions we can take based on what they say. And then there's going to be your templates. And so that's going to be this little gear here and templates. And let me move our pictures again. And your email template. And we're going to go through this step by step. I'll kind of walk you through where each thing is again, but just keep in mind there's 3 parts to every check-in. All right, so with that, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or just unmute and let me know that you've gotten into PropFuel at app.propfuel.com, and then we'll start when everyone's in. Awesome, thanks, Leah. Thanks, Chris.
I'm sorry, I'm at domains, like the domains thing. Okay, so we should be in campaigns, sorry.
Yep, perfect. And I'll walk you through exactly where to go once everyone's in.
Okay. I'm in campaigns, but all I see is like sort of one I created for myself to upload my list. I was jumping ahead.
No, you're fine, Kelly. That's great. I'll walk you through exactly where to go. So you can just sit right where you are. That's actually a perfect place to be.
Okay. We're not supposed to see your campaign that you're building?
No, yeah, great question. No, you will not. So I'm in my own account.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I was like, okay. So we're supposed to see what you're doing. Okay.
Perfect. Yep. All right. So what we're going to do, go ahead and follow along with me, and we're going to pause at each step. So everyone should be in this campaigns tab here, all the way on the left.
Ashley, I'm not in yet. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Monique. Let me know if you're having any trouble.
I'm just I wasn't sure what the password.
Oh, that would be the password that you set up
That
when
we signed up for? Oh,
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
okay. All right, sorry.
No problem. And let us know if you have trouble and you need us to resend you a login so you can set a new password.
Yeah, I'm just doing that now because I don't remember what it was, but I'm getting it. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Anyone else having any trouble? Okay, good. We're in a good place.
I'm in. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Awesome. No, that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over to campaigns on the left. And you're going to see this big blue button here, create new campaign. Just to the right of that, you'll see a little down arrow that you're going to click. And this is going to allow you to choose what blueprint you want to run. Go ahead and click that, create from blueprint. And here's all of the different blueprints we have in Propfuel. So all of our clients have access to these blueprints. And they're really the foundational campaigns that we've identified you should be sending to your members all the way from the time that they're a prospect to when they join and you want to engage them, maybe to when you have a conference coming up and you need to get people to register, to renewal period, and then of course lapsed win back, which is what we're doing right now. So it kind of takes you all through the member experience. The one that we're going to work on today is called Lapsed Win Back Campaign Workshop Blueprint. So it's pretty far down on the list. Make sure you find that one, and then you're going to click select. Once you click select, you're going to see some information just up at the top about the blueprint. We always like to link the campaign guide in here in each blueprint. So what that is there are these guides essentially that we've created in-house that takes you through kind of the concept of the campaign, why it works in Propfuel, the questions you should be asking. We show you examples from other clients. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, definitely go ahead and click that. But what we want to do today is actually fill out the blueprint inputs. So this is going to be how we create the campaign. Everything that you put in here, aside from the campaign name, will be seen by your contacts. So the campaign name can be whatever you'd like it to be. I tend to like to name it like lapsed win back, and then the year, or in this case, the date, since it's just a single check-in. But you'll find that as you build a bunch of campaigns, you really want to have like dates in there or years at least. So I'm going to call this. And then, like I said, everything else is going to be seen by your contacts. So I'm just going to take you through what each of these are. So sender's name, that should be a friendly from name. So if I were sending it, I would put my actual first and last name. We find that you have a lot more success if you have it come from an individual at the organization versus the organization name. Because people talk to other people, not necessarily organizations. So if you can put a person's name, or even you could put Ashley, which are, comma Propfuel is how I would do it if I was sending this out to our lapsed clients. Job title, of course, is, whatever the person's job title is, who it's being sent from. So that's going to be used to generate the signature line in all of the emails. The reply to email address, that is going to be where all of the out of office replies go, as well as sometimes you may have members who choose not to answer the question and instead they reply to the email. Maybe they have another question or an issue that they need to bring up to you. So they will reply to that email address. So just try to make sure that that's not a do not reply address, since that's not very conversational. Now, the contact us email address is a little bit different. So that's if they have questions, we always put something in the pages that say, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at, that's the email address you would want to choose, as well as the contact us phone number. So maybe if you have a customer service line, that would be the best one to choose there. And then finally, the rejoin URL. So we always have the best success when you choose the URL that gets them right to the page where they can rejoin. So whether that's a login screen or something along those lines, but I would try to get them as close to that login page as possible. And just make sure with the email address or with the URLs that you put the HTTPS, the full URL, or else it'll error out on you. Any questions on any of the inputs? So one thing you'll notice is, so I'm one of the client success managers here. And so we work with all of our clients from the time that they sign on until, the day that they're no longer a client, which is really rare. But we're kind of like the strategic help here at PropFuel. So you'll hear me ask you stuff throughout this workshop, and it might not even be that it's a technical question. Maybe you have a strategy question, like, well, should this be from my membership director or my CEO? Or feel free to ask those types of questions, because that's what we're here for. All right, so may I get a thumbs up when everyone is done with their inputs? Awesome, thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Kelly. Chris, Megan, awesome. Looks like everyone's in a really good place. All right, so when you're done putting your inputs in, we're gonna click the run button. And you're going to immediately see a screen. I'm not going to run it, or actually I'll go ahead and run mine too. You'll immediately see this screen here where it starts to tell you all the steps that it's taking for you. So in this case, we only have one check-in in here, but it's 53 steps that the platform is generating for you that you're not having to sit and do. So we'll give it a little bit of time. I think there are a lot of people running this template right now, so oh, that's good. It's going fast. So that was it. It was that fast. And as soon as you run it, you're going to see this page here that kind of looks scary, but it's not. It just is telling you that there's AI generated content in this campaign. We just like to be really human here at PropFuel. So, this is kind of a red alert to you to say like, hey, even though we've built this campaign for you, you'll still want to come in and make it human, make it sound like an actual person versus an AI. So you can go ahead and close that. And as soon as you close that, you should be in your campaign. So here, we're actually going to live together. We're going to edit the campaign, make it sound more like you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click this little pencil button here. And we're going to edit the question. Now, you don't have to edit the question if you like what it's asking, and if you like the answer choices, totally fine. But if you want to change the tone just a bit, you can say something like, would you be interested in rejoining? Do you plan on rejoining? Whatever makes sense to you. With the answer choices, I also really like these three. And of course, you can change the wording, but this idea of, something on each side of the spectrum, like, right? So the people who are like, yep, sign me up, the people who might need a little bit more time, and then all the way on the other side of it, the people who say, not this time. So I'll give you a little bit of time to look over that. And if you like what it looks like, go ahead and save it. Was there anyone who changed the question or any of the answer choices? Awesome. Okay, Kelly. So are you seeing a little, now that you've saved it, are you seeing this little workflow arrow here with a red exclamation point on it? Oh, you're on mute, Kelly.
I see an arrow. It says three, but three workflows, but it doesn't have a exclamation, but
Okay.
it has three workflows now.
Okay, so here, let me show you what the reason I asked that. I'm going to go ahead and make a change to my answer choices because some of you may have done that. And then I'm going to save it. And now you'll notice on my screen, because I changed one of my answer choices, it's giving me a red alert. The reason is we're going to go ahead and click that workflow arrow, and everyone go ahead and follow along and do this, even if you don't have that red alert. But the reason I asked is because anytime you change an answer choice in PropFuel from what is already mapped, you'll need to remap it to what the system thinks is the new answer choice, even though yes, sign me up and yes are practically the same thing. So what you'll do is you'll click right under the option where it says this is not a valid match. You'll click selection equals yes and remap it to your new answer choice.
Okay. Does it matter if I don't have the exclamation mark? So I get the workflow questions, but
yeah, then you're all set. You don't need to remap anything. You're fine.
So now click create new workflow.
Nope, go ahead and just hold there. I'm going to give everyone a chance. For anyone who did have that exclamation point, I'm just going to give them a chance to edit theirs. And then I'm going to walk you through the next step here.
You might be getting ready to walk us through one of the next steps. One of the questions I had was under require response, it says no is automatically populating.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that should be yes, because we want to know why, or is that a require response for any follow-up question?
Yeah, such a great question. So with this require response in an email, we're not actually going to make any changes here because you can't actually require anybody to answer the email. But what this is really great for is in PropFuel, and if you sign on as a client, we'll take you really in depth into training on how to do this. But we have the ability to create web pages in PropFuel that have questions on them, which is great because because it's a web page, it means you can essentially pull people in from all different places, from social media, from your website, from another PropFuel question. And if you have multiple questions on a single web page, you can tell it to require a response for certain questions. So they can't move forward until they answer certain ones.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Of course, of course. All right, so we're going to click on the workflow arrow if you've not already done it, and that's going to open up your workflows here. So you're going to notice that we have 3 answer choices up at the top, and we have 3 different workflows down at the bottom. So each one of these arrows is a different workflow. And essentially what it's saying here is it's saying if the question answer, if their answer selection is yes, sign me up, then we're going to take these actions. So if somebody says, yep, sign me up, then I'm showing text on a landing page. I'm going to go ahead and click where it says show text on landing page. And it's going to open that landing page text for you to edit it. So this is exactly what they're going to see right after they say yes. And this is where a lot of your work is going to come in to make it human, make it sound more like your organization. And you'll notice that all of these bullet points here are the AI content that ChatGPT essentially has pulled in. And as you're editing this, just keep in mind what I said about, having only a single hyperlink, maybe 2 if you have a support email down here, but just a single rejoin here hyperlink. But then you can have additional information about all of the benefits.
Quick question, Ashley. even though we have our full name there, we tend to refer to things a lot to our members by our acronym.
Right.
So I'm wondering how, is that just going to have to be something that we edit or just
Yeah, great question, Leah. So for this one, let's go ahead and just edit it manually. It probably won't show up in too many places to where it's frustrating, but as a client, when we're setting up our client accounts, we always suggest you use your acronym in that case because it'll always pull from your account name.
Excellent. Thank you.
Of course. As you're reading through this, I'm interested to know your thoughts on the AI content and what it brought in. Has it gotten pretty close, or are we looking at a lot of edits?
For me, it looks really good. I've just changed a couple of things, but it looks really good.
I like to hear that. That's great.
Mhm.
And if by any chance you want to move ahead, please feel free. You'll notice that this yes option has 2 actions on it. So we are showing text on a landing page, but we're also sending an email. And so you can click that send email action. What this does is it immediately, as soon as they say yes, it puts an email in their inbox. But this email looks more like a one-on-one Outlook email coming from a specific person to say, hey, if you still need it, here's that rejoin link, because not everyone's going to rejoin from that landing page. So putting that information in their inbox is a great way to kind of get them to rejoin at a later time.
Yet.
Everything okay, Kelly? One other thing I want to make sure is just go ahead and save your action when you're done editing. Sometimes in PropFuel, you save some things and you don't save other things. So just want to make sure you see that save action button down there. I've had too many times where I made edits and then didn't save it. The very last thing you're going to want to do as you build your workflows is you're going to see this little toggle button here at the top right by the trash can. Go ahead and toggle that on. It's not going to send anything to anybody, but when you go to test it and eventually send it, we now know that the workflow is on and it's going to work. So I like to get in the habit of doing that as soon as I make my workflow or as soon as I edit it. How's everyone doing on that first one? We'll give it a little more time. And if you've already done the first one, feel free to go down to the possibly and start on that landing page as well.
Sorry, I had a bit more editing than I thought I might from the AI because it's a very scientific association with very specific references. So I just finished. I did hear save action. What was the next thing after that?
Yeah. So after you've saved everything and you know all of the actions are edited in your workflow, then you're gonna toggle on the workflow. It's just at the top right next to the trash can. So what that does is it just allows the workflow to actually work when we go to test it or we send it out.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Of course. And then definitely feel free to start working on the possibly landing page as well. Just remembering that these are the folks who you may need to go back to at a later date because they are on the fence, but we still want to give them the chance to rejoin. So we'll have that rejoin link in there. And something that some of you may be noticing is this add tags to contact. So tags in PropFuel are a really great way across multiple different campaigns. You can tag people based on how they answer so that later you can pull a list of that tag. So something like this might be a really great one where it's, you know, hey, they said maybe, so follow up in a few weeks. You can pull a list of all of those people.
Okay, I need to post.
And go ahead and just give me a thumbs up when you're ready for the not at this time. That one's a little trickier, so I want to walk everyone through that. Thanks, Megan. Thanks, Jose. Chris, perfect. I'm going to give it one more minute. Thanks, Melanie. I'm going to give it one more minute and then I'm going to show everyone how to do the not at this time.
I have a quick question before we go.
Yeah,
Are
sure.
we going to be able to, I am one of those people that Proofreading is very, very important. And given this has been kind of quick, do we have the opportunity to review our landing page content before we send as a kind of backup plan?
Yes, 100%. So we
Okay.
always tell our clients test, test, test before you send anything. And so after we do, there's a couple more steps, and then I'm actually going to show you how to test.
Perfect.
And I suggest doing it as many times as possible.
Thank you. That would be neat.
I'm the same way. All right, so we'll always have time to come back to these other two, but for the not at this time, I wanted to show you because you'll notice that if you just click here, it's opening something that we've never seen before. And the reason is because when they say no, the action we're taking is we're redirecting them to another question that the platform has set up for you. Because again, if somebody says no, we don't just want to say on a landing page, okay, thanks. We actually want to find out what's holding them back so we can do something for them. So you're going to see this little pop-out arrow all the way at the end of where it says redirect to another question. It's the smallest little link on the page, but you're going to click on that. And it's going to take you over to that other campaign or that web page that's going to have this question on it. So essentially, once they say no, we're taking them to the web page. And this will look familiar to you because, again, we've got our three parts to our question or to our check-in. We have the question. We have our answer choices and workflows. And then we're going to have our templates, which I'll get to in just a bit. But what I want you to do is click on the pencil to edit the question. Make sure that you like the way that the question is worded. And if not, definitely change it. Sometimes the tone is a little bit off for your organization, and that's totally fine. And then your answer choices. Feel free to delete some or change them. These are the ones that we've found the most success with, but it's not a one size fits all, and we know that. And if you are done with the question and you've saved it, we're going to do just like we did on that first one. We're going to click on the workflows and we're going to start working our way through those workflows as well. So same concept, they're based on the selection. We're taking these actions and we want to edit those pages to say exactly what we want it to say.
I did change one and I have the red warning about that. And I know I have to map it. Where was that again? That I map it to the correct field?
Yeah, so you're going to click on your workflows and
Yes.
you're going to see there's going to be, for any of the workflows you've changed the answer choice on, it's going to have a big red alert at the top
Yes.
of it. And you'll
Yes.
click selection equals for each of those and then just
Okay.
remap it by dropping down this third box to the new
Okay.
choice.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. One thing I want to let you all know about, because you're going to get there in just a second, is you'll see a workflow that says if question answered matches text response filled, then send alert. And you're probably like, what the heck is that? So what that means is over here on the left, we actually have what we call a follow-up question in PropFuel. So after they answer, they have the option to tell you more in a little open-ended box. And so we've set up a workflow over here that says if somebody puts something in that box, if they actually put some text in there, go ahead and send an alert to somebody on my team because we have no idea what they're going to say. And so this is a great way to kind of bubble those people up to the top and alert your team of, hey, somebody answered an open-ended response. Here's what it said. And then you can do something more with that member or that prospective member if you need to, like pick up the phone and call them. The only thing you'll need to do here is drop down who you want it to go to. You're probably the only user in your account, so you probably only have one choice, but you could also send it to any email address by typing it in and pressing enter.
Should we be going to the other workflows or are we
Yeah,
waiting?
go ahead. So a lot of these are going to be the show text on landing page. So go ahead and just make your way through each one of them.
Got it. Thank you.
Of course. And let me know if there's anything in there where you have, strategic questions about it. This feels like that journal time that you had to do in elementary school. Do you remember when everyone was all quiet? It's kind of nice. Any questions come up on anything you're seeing? Another thing I tend to like to do, and I think the blueprint will have done it for you, is anytime you have long lists in Prop Fuel, I like to break it up by, doing headers or bolding. You can also use, if it works for your organization, you can use emojis. We have some teaching organizations that sometimes will do that. And it's just with your keyboard shortcut. I think it's like a spacebar control, command control, and it'll pull up an emoji keyboard. So little things like that just to kind of break up the text. If you want to see all of the paragraph styles you can choose in Propfuel, it's going to be this very first button here in your text editor. And that's what you can use for if you wanted to break it up with headers. How far in would you say you all are? Maybe about halfway through this list, maybe a little bit less.
A little more. I have 2 more to go.
Awesome. Megan, are you making your way up from the bottom or are you going down from the top? Okay. Yeah, no worries. You are not behind at all. I'm just trying to gauge it. You never know, right? If everyone's waiting on me or what. So I'm just trying to gauge. So we have lots of time. Awesome. Thanks, Melanie. I'm going to give it 2 more minutes. We're, like I said, we're going to come back to this, but I do want to show you the third part of the check-in where those email templates are. And then everyone can kind of be working on the parts that they need to at their own pace. All right, so let's go ahead and pause there wherever you are. Feel free if you're, if you're in a landing page or an email, go ahead and save the action. We can always go back to it. But I wanted to show you if we click back on campaigns all the way on the left, it might make you click it a couple of times. But what we want to do is go back to our main campaign page. And we're going to see, you should see 2 campaigns in your account. There's one that's going to be your main campaign. And then there's another that says embed question. That's that one where after they say no, we're taking them over there. We're branching them off to ask them why not. So those are both part of this campaign. We want to go to the main email campaign. So we're going to click on the name of it, and that's going to take us in there. Once we're in there, we're going to click on the gear right above our workflow arrow. So this is that third part of the check-in. So we're going to click on the gear and then templates. So this is making it look nice. It's where we can tell it how we want our email template to display, what we want it to say above the question. So we're going to click the edit button under email. It's that very first one up there. And here's our email template. So I'm going to walk you through some of the parts of this real quick. We have your logo up at the top, or it should be up at the top. We do have a space here for a header, like a much bigger header. In stuff like lapsed member campaigns or renewal campaigns, I'm actually not a big fan of headers because I think it's just more text that it's putting into the template when we really want to get them right to the question. So if you want, you can leave that space there, or you can hover over and click and just delete the space, and it'll bring your text up a little bit higher. But this is the really important text here. So this is your intro text. It's your opportunity to tell them a little bit more about why you're emailing them. So in this case, we're saying your membership has lapsed. We understand if you've been busy and missed our renewal messages, but there's still time to reinstate your membership. So I really like that wording, but definitely feel free to make that your own. And then right under that, you're not actually going to edit anything in this gray box. That's where your question is going to automatically display when it sends. So you don't have to do anything there, but you can move down to this text here and just make any edits you want as well. In addition to that, there are some things on the right-hand side. So these should have all been generated based on your inputs that you put into the Blueprint creator when you were creating it. Your from name, your reply to email address. The subject line was created by us, but feel free to make any edits now that you see it if you want to.
And that subject line is kind of the best thing that's been the most successful.
Great question. So subject lines, they're different for every organization. So if you find that like different tips and tricks work for your organization, I would definitely use them. Like something that works for some, but for other members would be like, no way you should do that, is like putting the attention or like a regarding. Like I said, though, it's so different for every organization. One thing we do have now is this little generate a suggestion button. It uses AI to suggest a subject line. So you could definitely play around with that and keep generating it until you find one that really piques your interest. Another thing that you can do is pull in personalization. So for this one, we probably wouldn't want to do it, but as a client, I would always suggest, because your account will be set up strategically to allow you to do this, but you can pull in their first name, you can pull in their expiration dates, anything really that you want to into this subject line, just to make it a little bit more personalized.
And the unsubscribe button on this, what would that unsubscribe them from?
Yeah, good question. So that's out of the box in PropFuel, that unsubscribes anybody who clicks on that and confirms the unsubscribe. It unsubscribes them from anything in PropFuel going forward. A lot of my clients sign on and they have much different unsubscribe requirements that they have. So, you know, maybe if you're using Informs or MailChimp, you want an unsubscribe in PropFuel to unsubscribe them in other places, or maybe you want to take them to a preference page. So it's a more of a soft unsubscribe, and we can set all of that up for you. But out of the box, this would just unsubscribe them from everything.
Quick question. So for the customization of like their title or their member type, I see titled contact field. Will that will have their name as well as their title, it looks like.
It depends. So it depends on how your CSV file is set up. Do you have title and first name in there, or did you say, Melanie, you haven't gotten that list yet?
I haven't gotten the list. What we would
Okay.
probably do is have because they're all surgeons, so we would probably have their name and their credentials, but the credentials should follow directly their name. So it probably wouldn't have title.
I
So I
see.
guess if we just put up contact field, and if we loaded it that way, we could just have their name in there, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to walk you through. So we like to keep it as simple as possible, but if you want, Melanie, you can go to settings and then advanced up at the top in your account. And you're going to see fields as the very first one. So
Okay.
out of the box, these are the fields that we give you, but you can create additional ones in here by just naming it. You could even say like full name title or something along those lines. And then when you upload your CSV file, just upload it exactly as you want it to display, and you'll map it to that field.
Perfect. Thank
Almost
you.
like a mail merge. Yeah,
Gotcha. Thanks.
of course. Chris, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a quick question regarding the unsubscribe you're talking about. So if they're unsubscribing from PropFuel, like if they were to be contacted through another organization through PropFuel and unsubscribed, would that also unsubscribe them from the emails from us, or just specific ones to us?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's one that I probably need to ask our developer so I don't tell you the wrong thing. I believe that it unsubscribes them from all of PropFuel, not just from your instance. But let me double check on that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Thank you for checking.
Of course, good question. Let me see. Robson, you're in here. Do you mind asking Cameron that real quick? Thank you. Leah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I was typing and everything,
Oh,
but
no.
we like to send them to their first names, and I heard the customizing. I do have that in my data. So how do I do that again? Would that
Yeah.
appear at the top, like dear such and such, or hi such and such? Is
Yeah.
there a way to do that? Okay.
There is. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to settings all the way on the left in your account.
Okay. Let me save this. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Goodness. Oh, there we go. My mouse isn't cooperating. There we go. Settings.
Advanced,
Okay. Got it?
and then fields.
Okay.
And then on the very first box, the one that has all of those names already in there, we're going to create another field.
Got it.
You could just call it first name or
Perfect.
whatever makes sense to you.
Okay.
Does everyone have a first name, or do you need a default value, meaning if it's empty, we'll replace it with this value?
Everyone has a first name.
Okay, great. Perfect. So go ahead and put your first name. Actually, I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to name it first name, and then I'm going to save it.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back over to our campaign template.
Okay.
So we'll go to campaigns. We're going to click on the email campaign.
Got it.
We'll click the gear,
Got it.
templates,
Templates. Okay.
and then we're going to go back to edit the email template.
Got it.
And then I suspect we want it just right at the beginning, not in the subject line.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yes.
Perfect. So you're going to click into the text block there,
Got
And go
it.
ahead and put your cursor wherever you want that first name field to be. I like to like pre-populate everything and then put my cursor before it.
Yes.
And then it's this little S button at the top left. You'll click
Got
on
it.
and find first name.
Great. And then, so I can do, if I put it up to home, I can do hi, comma, and then first name will be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question again so I can
Yeah, Chris had a really good question. So if somebody unsubscribes in a single prop fuel instance, does that unsubscribe them from all prop fuel instances? So like if it's a member of multiple organizations?
Goodness.
Gotcha.
Everything okay, Leah?
Yeah, I just deleted everything. No, when I tried to do a space between dear and the first name, it bumped it down a line. And so I tried to delete it and it deleted everything, but I just canceled. I'm fine.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay, good. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I've shown you everything essentially that we need to do for this campaign in terms of getting it set up. So I want to give you some time. We still have quite a bit of time. I want to give you some time to just go back to any part that I rushed you through. So whether that's your email template or your workflows in this main one, or if it's your not at this time workflows. And let me know if you need help getting back to anything, but let's just use about 10 minutes to just finish this up. Feel free to give me a thumbs up when you're ready to essentially enroll. I can show you how to enroll your contacts, but we're not going to send it until we test.
I think I got stuck on the retirement one.
Yeah.
If we have like special retirement rates, is that something that is worth another hyperlink, or is that something that we should just, say if you log in, you'll see you can request a retirement rate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, really good question. So yeah, I try not to put too many hyperlinks in there, but I think in that case it might be worth it unless you have an image that you could easily pull into this page, or like if we could somehow, if it's only a few different retirement amounts, then you could just put it right in this page. But I know
Okay.
some of them are pretty in-depth. So in that case, I would do a hyperlink.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. One other thing, Megan, to fully answer your question, if there's ever a page where you're like, I had to put a lot of links in there, it's possible that they'll click out and not actually click the rejoin. That's the perfect place to add another action of send email. So you saw that in there a lot, but because that puts it into their inbox, then it's a little less risky to have so many hyperlinks because we're going to put the email in their inbox.
Chris, to answer your question earlier, no, just that client that you will be subscribed from.
Thank you, Robson.
Perfect. Thank you so much for checking.
Jose, are you still doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good. The one thing I had was on the something else option. Like instead of giving them a landing page, is there a way to just prompt for the text response filed instead? Or are they getting that once they like complete clicking everything?
Yeah, good question. So actually, this is a perfect time for me to show you how to test so you can see what they're actually going to see.
Okay.
Let me answer your question first, and then I'll show you. So are you talking about
Yeah,
for
if question answered matches something else. So the one you were just on.
Oh, I see. There's something else here. So your question is, and ask me your question again, can we do
Yeah,
what?
so instead of the showing text on landing page, like is there because I'm looking at the other action options and there's not one that says like tell me more or give a
Yeah,
form to fill it out. Like I'm trying to see when the text response filled option pops up in this like
yeah,
flow.
exactly. Okay, let me take you through. I'm gonna go ahead and just send it to, actually, I think I have it in here. I'm gonna take you through what it looks like. If I can find it, let me just resend it. Oh, here it is. So if they say not at this time, then so regardless of how they answer, they're getting this tell us more box. So somebody could conceivably say something else and then put their tell us more in here and then submit it, and your team will get an alert. That's one way to do it. It's the way that we've set it up. The other way is, I think, what you're talking about, and it's actually my preferred way, is, let me show you. I'm gonna go to the not at this time, is to completely do away with this follow-up question here, because I don't love feeding somebody another question or another part of the journey unless they really need it. And in my opinion, the only people that really need it are the something else, the ones that want to tell you something in their own words. So we could remove this follow-up question. It won't then go to anyone. But if they say something else, instead of showing text on a landing page, we could create another web page with a question on it that's just an open-ended box that says, all right, tell us what your other reason is. We tried to keep it pretty simple for this one, so that follow-up question will get you the same result. It's just a matter of if you want it to go to everyone or just the something else.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because I was already like, if someone's putting something else, I'm assuming that they want to give feedback.
Yeah,
Well, I would
definitely.
hope that they would want to give feedback, but yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I don't know if you saw, but if you want to send a test of it to yourself, of the whole campaign to yourself, once all of your workflows are toggled on, you can click on this little gear here again, and then send test email. And it'll populate your email address, so you can just go ahead and send it to yourself. If there's other folks on your team who you want to share it with, feel free, you can just separate with a comma as well. But this is a really great way, especially as you're setting things up. If you're like, what did I just do? Just send yourself a test email and then you can actually visualize it. And sometimes I'll hold my test email up and the PropFuel platform and then make edits that way. I think we'll give it 2 more minutes, and then I actually do want to show you how to enroll your contacts for those of you that it sounds like are going to be pretty close to ready to do that here in a little bit.
Ashley, I was at the test it like a few minutes ago and now I can't get back to it. And I know you just reviewed that. Can you show me how to get there again?
Definitely. So you're going to do it in your main campaign, and it's going to be this gear here up at the top,
Okay.
and then send test email.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Since I know some of you are testing, I'll do a couple more minutes and then I'll show you how to upload your contacts. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, in my test, the first name didn't populate. It just came in as dear.
Yeah. So the reason for that, Leah, is
Because we haven't linked the data yet.
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah. No worries, no worries.
Thank you.
I always love it when it's an easy solution like that. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all. If you'll just pause wherever you are, make sure you save whatever you're in. I do want to show you how to upload your contacts. Like I said, you can always go back and continue editing your campaign even after your contacts are enrolled. So what we're going to do, because we're enrolling using a CSV file, we're going to click Enrolled Contacts up here at the top. Make sure you're in your main campaign. Your CSV file does need to have a header row and at least an email address. But if you're like Leah and you're pulling in, first name or any other personalization, just make sure you also have that as well, of course, so that we can mail merge it. So you'll click Enrolled Contacts, and then you're going to upload your contacts. Select your file. And then I have a little sample CSV that just has me in it, so I'm going to choose that. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up when you're there. Sometimes you'll get an error if there's any, bad data in there that the system doesn't like. So I just want to make sure we get the thumbs up from everyone.
I think my data person saved it as an Excel sheet. So that's, yeah, I got an error that it wasn't CSV.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost you for a second. Where are you?
Yeah, let me go back. So I'm in the main campaign.
Okay.
The main email campaign, and then I'm up here in Enrolled Contacts.
Okay.
And then Upload Contacts.
Okay. And then, okay, so I had already uploaded contacts to the contact page
Got it. Yep.
yesterday. Can I use those or should I do it again here?
I would say let's go ahead and do it again here. So the way that you'll upload contacts to actual campaigns is directly in the campaign. So I'd rather just go ahead and do it that way so we don't break anything.
Okay, I just have to find my sheet. Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to give Megan a second to find that CSV, and then I'll go to the next part.
Okay, got it.
Awesome. All right. Leah, you okay too? Okay. Everyone else doing all right? All right, sounds good. Okay, so you'll notice that once I clicked my file and I selected it, I now have fields on the left that are my CSV fields. And then on the right, I just need to tell PropFuel what to import it as. So on the left, it says contact email. So I'm going to drop down. Now this is really, really important. If you don't hear anything else I say today, hear this. If you're using any of these fields as personalization, so Leah, definitely you, do not map under system fields because you are going to see first name under there, but you don't want to use that. You want to go down to your custom fields and find first name. Because you created it, you see it there. Everything else is fine to map up here, but if you map anything under system fields, it will not pull it in as personalization. And then you have a bunch of blank first names.
Can I do the others as system fields? I mean, I'm not using them, so does it require you to map it if they're there? I just had them put everything in there. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just ignore it. So if you don't map something, we'll ignore it. So conceivably, really all you need is email and then anything you're using as personalization.
Got it. Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to go ahead and map 3. I'm going to ignore ID because I don't need that. And then once you've mapped everything, you can click Review Import. Once you click Review Import, you're going to see up at the top, it's just confirming for you that you want contacts going into this campaign. And the cool thing is you can add and remove contacts using a CSV file. It's going to default to add, which is what we want here. And then we're going to preview it just to make sure everything looks right. And mine all looks good. This just has me in it. And if it looks good to you, you can import your contacts. It's not going to send anything to them until we go live with it. So don't worry about that. It's just going to hold them in there.
Name, do we need something there? Or I have name is blank. I have the emails. I have the first name and organization. So those are all mapping. I just didn't know if I needed that name.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and click import contacts so you can see what it does. And then you can decide if you want to do that. So if you don't map name, it's going to put their email address here as their name, which just means you'll need to search for them in the campaign by their email address if you need to do that. So if you don't love that, I would go back and edit your mapping and add the full name.
Okay, got it.
Any other questions like that? Really good questions.
I actually uploaded my file without having the email address in there because I just did it on the fly since just to practice to send to myself. Is it possible to delete everything and start over?
You can. So the good thing about it is as long as you're uploading the same exact contacts, that's a good question because there was not an email, it probably won't dedupe because we use email address to dedupe. So yes, you can. If you want to remove all of your contacts, you can go to settings in your actual campaign.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
And then all the way down at the bottom where it says danger zone, which sounds much scarier than it is, you can remove all the contacts. Just make sure you don't archive it.
Perfect.
Now keep in mind, I'm going to go ahead and do it and I'll show you. If you remove all contacts and you go back to your enrolled contacts list, technically it's going to keep those contacts in there because we want to give you that historical data of, well, here's people who were at one time in here, but it's going to have the status of removed and it will not send to them.
Okay, awesome. For some reason it didn't, I removed them and so it says no results found. So maybe it didn't keep them for some reason.
I'm thinking it didn't ever upload them to begin with because there were no emails. So I think we're in the clear.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. Any other questions on enrolling contacts before I show you how you can actually go live? All right, this is exciting. So it's okay if you're not ready to go live yet. In fact, I wouldn't go live until you've tested just to make sure everything looks right and it's set up the way you want. But there's a couple of places we need to look before we do anything. So first is the send date. So this date was just chosen by the platform. It thinks, hey, maybe you want to send this on the 21st. You can change that date to anything that you'd like. I'm going to send mine tomorrow and then confirm it. And then we're going to go into settings. And about halfway down, maybe a little further than that, you're going to see a box called Send Times and Reminders. That's where you're going to set what time on that date you want it to go out. And here's all the different windows you can choose. Usually it goes out at the top of that window, but we do have that window just in case, you know, sometimes there's a large send or something, and so it doesn't go out right at the top of it. You all are membership and marketing folks, so your next question is probably going to be, well, what do we see the best success with? And I'll actually tell you, it's so different from organization to organization. So I would pick what works best for your members. And actually, day of the week, Monday through Friday, I think it was HubSpot that just put out a benchmarking report and found that Monday through Friday makes no difference. I think because like in the past, we were told, don't do Fridays, don't do Mondays. And so like, I think everyone just was like spreading apart those days. And so now it's like everyone's opening on any day. Saturday and Sunday, it does drop off. So I would stick to weekdays if you can. The other thing to think of is the send reminders. So it's, for me, it's saying no, but what the reminder is it's the same email that goes out a second time to anyone who didn't answer the first time. So it's regardless of whether they opened it, but it'll send one reminder to them. So if you want that, you can choose yes. And then you could choose what delay you want. So you could say, you know, send the reminder 2 days after the original, a week later. I really like a week because then I can make sure it's always going to go out on a weekday. And that's a little bit more spread apart. I think it's just a nicer wait period in between. Now, something to keep in mind with the reminders, though, is if you do have a reminder going out, you're going to want to remove people who have joined in between the original and the reminder. So just keep that in mind. It's going to help your engagement quite a bit, but then you will have to come in, click upload contacts, and upload a remove list of people. You notice how it allows you to add people or remove people from the campaign. You can just, you know, upload a list of anyone who has joined. So totally up to you if you want to keep that reminder, if you want to say, no, not this time. So whatever you'd like. Now, all of our clients have connectors set up. So, you know, if we're lucky enough to have you join on with us, you won't have to add remove lists every time in between your check-ins because you'll have a connector. We'll be connected into your database and we'll be able to automatically remove people when they join. So keep that in mind too. It's not, we try to make it as automated as possible. And that's it. The very last step after you've done those things is changing it from draft to go live. Now, one thing you're going to notice is if I try to go live with this campaign, it's going to say, well, wait a minute, you have like a sub campaign in there that's still in draft form. Because if you remember, we're branching people off to another campaign when they say no. So it's going to make you go live with this one before you can go live with the main one. Meaning you just have to click out there and go live with this one first. Does that make sense what I just showed you?
Yes, if you try and go live and some of your branches aren't turned on, will it also alert you to that?
It should. Yeah, let's
Okay.
try it and see.
Just curious.
Risky. Let's see. I don't know if it actually will for that. Let's try it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's saying I did go live with it, so let me see. Quick. Yeah, I think because I did go live with it, so I think it's not letting me do it until I turn on my workflows. Let's see. All right, those are off. It's because I have 2 in here. I'm confusing myself. All right, now let's try. All right, turned off. Okay, so it looks like it is letting me go live even if the workflows are toggled off. So we'll definitely want to make sure that they're toggled on. One way that you can keep yourself from doing that is make sure you test before you go live. If you try to test and these are turned off, I'll show you what you'll see. It's going to give you a very clear error. And that's usually the first place I look is, are your workflows toggled on? So I'm going to click yes. And it's not showing me my landing page because my workflows are toggled off. So I know we only have 10 more minutes. I'm always a big fan of giving you time back, but I also want to give you time to ask me any questions you have. So, feel free to jump off if you're good to go, or, ask me anything.
I have a quick question. In my templates, copy of Colorful, which is the one that has everything, I have a thank you page there, but apparently from what I read, if I don't have something configured to go to something, it's not going to be there. Just wanted to make sure that was correct.
Yeah. So what you're talking about this template here, these ones?
Yes.
Yeah, so the blueprint will pull in the templates that you need and only the templates that you need. So you should be fine there. When you sign on as a client, though, we'll do more in-depth training with you on what each of these are, and like when to pull them in, because you won't always want to build from a blueprint. But you're exactly right. If you don't have a template set up, it will also not show you the landing page, but it should be set up because of the blueprint.
Yeah, it has the logo, but just gibberish, if it's not going to be here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, this one here.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So this template here dictates what all of your show text on landing page actions look like. And so that's why so you're not going to want to edit anything there, because all of the places where you have this show text on landing page set up, this copy
Yes.
is going to display on that template.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. What else? Any other questions?
Yeah, my test email is not sending to me. It said it was sent successfully. I sent it to multiple email addresses since I don't have my member list just yet. So I sent it to like my personal email address and my work email address. And it sent it to my personal email address, but it didn't send it to my work email address.
Okay, so I'm going to give you in the chat, because it's really important that you're able to test before you send. Your IT team may want to whitelist some IP addresses. This is something that we do with all of our clients when they come on board, just so that your servers don't block it. I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? I want to send to everyone. There we go. So go ahead and give that to your IT folks. If that's not something that they're willing to do until you sign on with PropFuel, then I would test in your personal email address, since it sounds like it's just being blocked by your servers.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Also, maybe check your spam folder as well.
Yeah,
I did that. Yeah, it wasn't there, unfortunately. Thanks, though. Yeah.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to stay on until 2 Central, but if there's no other questions, I just want to thank you all for spending so long with me today, putting up with my horrible voice. But I wish you such success with your campaigns, and reach out to us if you have questions or you need help going live.
Thank you. This was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Melanie.
Take care.
I had a quick question.
Yeah, Megan.
I deleted one of the options so it gave me the little exclamation point. Can I then just delete the
The
I forget what it's called.
workflow.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely can. So it won't let you delete it until you toggle it off, and then yep, you're fine to just click the little trash can.
Okay.
Quick question. I just got 2 follow-up emails because I clicked that I want to rejoin by doing yes. And then I clicked the rejoin link in the landing page and it sent duplicate emails. Is that
Huh.
what happens usually?
It should not. So, okay, so you clicked yes and it sent you the email. That's good. But then you also clicked
The rejoin here. I clicked on here just to make
Oh.
sure that was right. And I got the same email a minute later.
That should not have happened. Do you mind sharing? Do you mind sharing your screen and walking me through what you did, and we can just see it happen again?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm on a second monitor, so this is going to be an adventure. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. So that is, I may need to change my share, but that's where I ended up clicking the yes. And as you can see, I clicked the rejoin here. So let me get back to my screen share. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Oh goodness. This is like so insane. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to waste everyone's time. I can't get back. Oh, here we are. No, it's not. I can't get the Zoom bar below me.
Let
I
me-
just have.
You know what I'm gonna
Let
do?
me. Oh, wait a minute. I have it here. Hold on.
Okay.
Stop share. I'm sorry.
You're
Challenges. Here we go. Okay, so let me share. It's my email, which let me do that. Share screen. Email. So you can see that there are 2
Mhm.
of the same email. This first one came in after I clicked yes, and then this second one came in after I hit the rejoin here.
Okay, do you mind going back to, I'm so sorry to make you do it. Do you mind going back to the PropFuel email and go ahead and re-click those answer choices? I want to see them when they come in.
Okay. I need to pull my browser over to here. Okay, so
And something
Okay.
that will help is if you go ahead and click the yes, wait for that to open up, and then click the possibly. If you click the answer choices too close together, it could confuse the system.
Okay. Okay, so there we go. And it was just, I didn't get to possibly yet. It was just the yes. And it was just a question if somebody clicks like I did that rejoin link at the top, here it came in, is it going to come in twice? So there is obviously the email from the yes click. It's just in the yes, there's another rejoin link. And when I click that, it sent the email again.
Okay, then it looks like it's an issue with the link there, so, but it shouldn't be. Can you click the here again and we'll see if it delivers that email to you?
Sure, give me a second.
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm like totally lost. I'm so sorry, y'all. Okay, like it's just wonderful trying to figure out where I am here. So
Yeah, sometimes testing is
So-
the hardest part of PropFuel.
yeah, so So there's the yes, and I apologize. I have the worst internet connection in the world. So, all right. So this is the yes. I'll get another email now. Obviously, I will click the rejoin here, which is going to default to our dashboard, which is where it should go for the member to log in. So I guess it's just waiting to see if we
it's
get two more emails.
And I'm trying to go into your account too to see how it's set up.
Thank you. There's one.
But it looks to me like it's working properly. It could have been an issue with just clicking too fast.
Got it.
If you continue to see that though, definitely reach out to us. I'm also going to look on the back end of your campaign just to double check everything looks okay, but I don't see anything that should be causing it.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Of course. No, it's okay. All right. Megan, anything else?
Just once this goes out and you have the data kind of coming in, particularly the one that like tags for the future,
Yeah.
where do you find that information?
Yeah, good question. Maybe Lisa, Brittany, or Robson, could you all speak to what kind of like the support after this workshop and how we work with them?
Yeah, I can talk to that. So I'll be reaching out to you to set up a follow-up call so we can go over your results. If you have some questions in the meantime, you can reach out to me, and my email in the chat here, it's just lisa@propfuel.com, and I'll help. If I can't help you, I'll get you redirected to the appropriate party.
Okay, thank you. So we should just in the next couple of days, like, do this and
I
then
say
see how
yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and commit. This is just so you know, this is the same blueprint that we used in the first workshop where Ryan was sharing all of those success stories. Same exact blueprint. So I wouldn't be scared about it. I would say just do it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, everyone. This has been great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you for joining us.